Dean Martin's smooth style captured the hearts of millions of women, including mine. But there were a group of talented women surrounding Dean who captured the hearts of men around the world. They were known as Dean's dancers, the Golddiggers. Now, almost 40 years later, they're back together and they're still solid gold. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Rosie from California and I wore pigtails.
And I'm the Canadian Susie from Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Hi, I'm Nancy from Baltimore. I'm the natural blonde.
Oh, really? And I'm Jackie from Connecticut, and I was the tall redhead.
I'm Sheila, and I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
And I'm Susie from Houston, Texas, and I thought I was the natural redhead.
Back in 1969, Susie Ewing was just a dancer in Houston, Texas, when a choreographer called her up and offered her a job opportunity.
He ended up calling me and saying, I'm the choreographer of the Golddiggers on the Dean Martin show. And I said, you mean those girls I just watched last week, because there was a show currently running. And he said, that's the ones. And I couldn't believe it.
Before she knew it, Susie was in Los Angeles and had joined the sisterhood known as the Golddiggers, the famous and lovely backup girls from the Dean Martin show. Back then, their girl-next-door image was carefully guarded.
We had very serious 28-page contracts that we all had to sign, where we were very limited as to our social life. We were all in one apartment. Well, we were in an apartment complex, and I think there were about 3 or 4 to each apartment.
We had the Golddigger station wagon. I was one of the designated drivers because I had a California driver's license.
But the sorority lifestyle was worth the opportunity to perform with a living legend.
Dean Martin was the sweetest, most wonderful man. He was very good to all of us. He was so generous and fun and easygoing. He was exactly what you saw on screen. Dean had an opening number, and our job was to sit underneath the camera and make him laugh.
The Golddiggers were a sensation. They quickly became famous in their own right and toured all over the world.
My favorite is being with Bob Hope and being on Freedom Hill in Da Nang in the middle of the rain during the Vietnam War, to come out on stage and see 20,000 Marines just trying to catch a glimpse of the girls from back home.
In 1973, with the end of the Dean Martin show, the Golddiggers went their separate ways. Many started families and taught dance classes. But over 30 years later, they hadn't forgotten what the spotlight felt like.
Every time I go and see a show, I want to be up there. I don't want to be sitting in the seat.
The girls got together every 5 years to catch up, and one year, someone finally suggested it.
Jackie, one of our girls in 2003, just said, you know, why don't we just get together and wouldn't it be fun?
We'll show you fresh young kids in braces.
I said, oh, you bet.
I'm right there.
Our kids are grown and some of our husbands are retired. It's just been a wonderful opportunity to get back together and see what we could do.
But we've lived a lot, learned a lot, and the sap is still flowing.
The first few times that we rehearsed, I would cry. Because it was, my friends. Look at us, we're doing this.
Over 30 years later, the women of the new Golddiggers are happy to be back on stage, but even happier to spend time with each other.
We're all sisters, and some of us are very best friends, and we've been best friends for 40 years.
Let's get set for hot and hip and in and then.
Everyone is so supportive, so it's very comforting to be around them all.
New faces all over again. All over again.
The sexy movie star, dancer, and singer Anne Margaret, and a long list of other guests including 18-year-old Miss World, Miss Australia, Penelope Plummer, actresses Eileen Dunn and Linda Bennett, actor Roger Smith of the 77 Sunset Strip fame, football great turned movie star Rosie Greer, trampolinist Dick Albers, the dancing troupe The Golddiggers, the singing group The Honey Limited, and of course Les Brown and his band of renown.
Can everybody hear? All right, here from an all-night stand at the Bangkok Bathhouse, Les Brown and his band of renown. For the past 15 years now, our guest that is going to entertain us here has been coming overseas to entertain us GIs. So now let's show our appreciation to him and his troop for coming over here to Vietnam to entertain us. I'm privileged to introduce the fabulous Mr. Bob Hope.
Hey, nobody showed up, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, here we are in Vietnam. Yes, sir. So much for your bombing halt. And today we're at Long Binh, Vietnam's answer to Disneyland. This is the biggest logistical installation in Southeast Asia. Vietnam, this is where it's at. It's what's happening, or to put it another way, who needs it? This is my 5th visit to Vietnam. Tell me, do they have a Section 8 for civilians? Section 8, that's a fruitcake that goes home for Christmas. Were any of you guys here last year? Oh, that's tough. I told you, war is hell. I plan to spend Christmas in the States, but I can't stand violence. And I know the bombing halt is really working. I know because we flew over the Ho Chi Minh Trail and nothing was moving. It's the worst traffic jam I ever saw. Looked like the Hollywood freeway. Of course, you know that back home the elections are over and the birds are flying south. At the White House, the Republican takeover is going very smoothly. The Nixon forces have most of the first floor, and the fighting has moved out to the backyard where LBJ is making a stand at the barbecue pit. And of course, you know that the students back home are making great progress. Last year they were burning their draft cards. This year it's the schools. So when you muster out, keep your rifle, because if you want to go to school under the GI Bill, you may have to recapture it first. But I don't want you to worry about it, because with your combat experience, you'll make great freshmen. And without it, you'll never make sophomore. At San Francisco State, the cops have spent so much time on campus, 8 of them graduated. The Golddiggers right now.